Welcome back, everybody. The search for survivors now in day 5 after that 12-story condo collapsed in South Florida. It is a grueling, also delicate, though, task on a massive pile of twisted concrete and steel. The scenes playing out there in Surfside, Florida, eerily reminiscent of Ground Zero in New York after the 9/11 attacks nearly 20 years ago this September. Several first responders, as you know, pay the ultimate price when they respond to the attacks. They have faced not only the dangers of that day, but also the long-term health problems from being exposed to dangerous toxins on the ground and in the air. I'm joined now by Rob Serra, the retired firefighter who was at Ground Zero in New York that day. He's also behind the Ray Pfeiffer Foundation, which helps first responders following a crisis just like the one we're seeing continue to play out there in Surfside. Rob, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me.
You know better than most what those crews there on the ground are going through. From your vantage point, from the heroic work that you did in New York almost 20 years ago, what's the toughest part? The physical labor, the exhaustion, the knowing that perhaps the death toll is going to go up far higher than what we know tonight? What's the toughest part of what is just an unimaginable job for the most of us?
From what I remember from 9/11, the toughest part was knowing that there were people there that weren't found yet. I'm sure that there's an emotional toll right now on everyone digging and searching, and I think they're operating on adrenaline and just the desire to find those people. But I think that's the hardest part, is knowing that there's people there that you just can't get to.
Do you think it's fair to say, based on what the coverage that you've seen of what's happening in Florida, that this will be weeks and weeks of this kind of recovery work?
Sure. It's not just, you can't simply just pick up a piece of concrete and move it. That's what we learned, for starting in Oklahoma City to Ground Zero. It takes time to move those things. It takes heavy equipment. You can see those cranes, and you can't just crawl in there, because there's risks. There's risks of debris falling on you falling on more collapses. So, it takes time. You have to fight that urge to just dive in and look for people. But you have to take your time. And I think that's the toughest part.
What hard-earned advice would you give there to the folks on the ground based on your own experience?
I would say protect yourself. Definitely wear your respirators. From what I can see, there are several toxins in that air. Things that we faced at Ground Zero: the concrete dust, the pulverized glass, the fires in the voids. We don't know what's burning down there. There's a lot of petroleum products being burned, being used in furniture and clothing. So there's a lot of risks. So respirators are a priority, even though we know these chemicals can also soak through your skin. Then there's the emotional toll. Make sure you talk to someone. Get some sleep. You have to go home. You have to sleep. You have to eat. And you have to take care of yourself. And you can't really isolate yourself from the people you work with and your family. You have to talk about it. I think what we've seen with 9/11 is the connection between the PTSD and the physical ailments. The list of illnesses grows every year. And from what the studies coming out of Mount Sinai is the PTSD is accelerating those illnesses. So the earlier you can address them, the earlier you could talk about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It is hard to believe that this September will mark 20 years. It's incredible to think about it. And just elaborate on that point you were making a second ago about the kinds of health problems that first responders who are at Ground Zero, that they've been dealing with for the past 2 decades because of their exposure to the area after the attacks.
Sure. I mean, I could speak for the FDNY alone. We have over 3,000 members battling at least one cancer. There are dozens of cancers linked to that dust. There were 160 toxins in the dust. So there's illnesses, everything from sinusitis, GERD, which are the most common, all the way up to brain cancers and everything in between, neurological issues, autoimmune issues, a lot of things that I'm facing. So besides the emotional issues that come along with it, there are several diseases that are really affecting us. We've seen thousands of deaths already, and we don't really know what's coming. Asbestos was the biggest biggest toxin in that dust. There were 400 tons of asbestos used in the construction of the World Trade Center. And it takes 20 years for those diseases to manifest. So we don't really know what's coming. You brought up the 20th anniversary, and for a lot of us, that's when the clock is going to start with the asbestos-related diseases. So, we've already seen a lot. We've seen too many deaths, too many funerals, but it seems like that's just the tip of the iceberg. From what I can tell, with our foundation, is people are getting sicker and their illnesses are attacking them quicker. They're dying more quickly, unfortunately.
After that kind of heroic work, and then to face that kind of fate, it is heartbreaking. Talk a little bit before we let you go about the work your foundation is doing, and what can the government at all levels do now, knowing what the aftermath can entail for first responders after a tragedy like this. What can leaders in positions of power do now to make sure the crews there on the ground get everything they need to be okay?
I would say reach out to the people who've done it before. Reach out to Dr. Brazant and Dr. Kelly from the FDNY. They learned from the phone company fire in New York City in the 70s that they needed to start a database right away. So they need to get all these people in for medicals and get a baseline medical for everyone. And then from there, they need to start addressing the issues as they come up. The biggest problem we faced was really getting the government to believe us. It took us 18 years to get them to believe that people were really getting sick and dying. And they shouldn't have to wait that long. So I think they should learn from what we went through, and reach out, like I said, to the professionals who've already done it. I think that there's a lot to learn.
Now, those scenes in Florida are certainly reminiscent of what we saw in New York. Heroes then, and heroes doing similar work now at the site of that collapsed building. Rob, thank you so much, not just for a few minutes of your time tonight, but for everything you did for that city and everything you have endured since because of that work. We appreciate your time and your sense of duty, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
Take care.